We're here at Shelf Life Books in Calgary, Alberta, with Gerry Bast, the author of his new book, If I Was God. And tonight is his book launch. Gerry, how are you feeling?
This was a lot of fun. I'm feeling very good. On the cover, you see somebody standing on the grass on Earth, it looks like, and looking up at Earth. That's not really possible, but in the book, there's this front porch where God is meeting people, dead and alive, coming to meet whoever God is, and in this case, it's me. And so there's me standing on my front porch. I'm God doing this.
So would you say that your upbringing, specifically with respect to religion, had an influence on your ideas in this book?
Influences in so many directions, so many things about religion that I just don't ever want to do again, but to ever possibly believe, because of my upbringing, to ever believe that there's not something bigger out there than us. I cannot make my mind and heart go in that direction, and it's because of that.
So there were a lot of provocative ideas that you discussed in your presentation. Would you say that this book would resonate with any person from any religion, regardless of their upbringing?
I think that where humanity is right now and the amount of information that we have in the last generation, nobody in their right mind holds on to the past things. We're all being forced, because of the knowledge that we have and the information that we've got, we're all being forced to rethink everything. So I don't care where you are, or who you are, or where you come from. The idea that you have to stop and look at things and look for a new perspective, and that we would like to have a new landscape painted for us. The religious stuff that's going on now, it's a little difficult. It's a little difficult to buy into. You know, and so everybody's kind of going, I don't know if I like this anymore. So there's some questions in there that will agree with almost everybody, yeah.
You mentioned perspective. This is one of the themes that, for me, during your presentation tonight, really stood out regarding your ideas in the book. Talk more about that theme of perspective.
Perspective is everything. You have to step back and get out of your little small town or your little world that you live in and stop and think, really, what could possibly be going on here? There's something going on. To think that there is something that could create a world that has got this much nourishment exploding out of the mud. I forgot to get into this. You know, if I was God, I would invent mud. Actually, in the book, it says if I was God, I'd invent poo. Because these large animals walk on the mud that explodes with food for them and for all of us. And you know what? If that large animal defecates on the soil, it makes better tomatoes. Like, who would have thought of that? If I was God, I'd invent poo, and that would make what? I don't know. You know?
So if you were God, this was a question I was asking the other people I was interviewing. I asked them to finish this sentence. If I was God, I would invent... Would you invent poo?
I would invent poo. I would invent large animals that crap on the ground, and that would make better. You know, there's two little things that I just learned from science just recently, since the book is written. Number one, there has never been any new water brought to the earth. So if there was water billions of years ago, the water we have now is the same water. And some of it's pure. We're destroying a lot of it, but it purifies itself. All of the mud that we have is all we get. Now, trees die and fall into the ground, and they rot and create better soil. What kind of a system is that? A billion years later, the soil is rich with nutrients for me to eat tomatoes from it because some large animal crapped on it. You know what? Get the heck out of here. If you think that's not a miracle, you're whatever. You know, this stuff doesn't just happen. So, yeah. Does that answer your question?
It absolutely does.
If I was God, I'd make you. If I was God, you are so beautiful. Can I say this into the camera?
Say it.
She's beautiful.
Say it to the camera.
Is she beautiful? She's beautiful. If I was God, I would make you. You are so awesome. I want to meet you, and I want to give you a hug.
So there you have it. Join the conversation and read the book, If I Was God. Thanks, Gerry.